request. Basically, we're out of money. Basically, we're out of money. Basically, we're out of money. And so that's why today, in order to sustain Ukraine as it continues to fight, I'm sending Congress a supplemental budget request.
All right. So you heard it from the horse's mouth. America is out of money. All right. And this is going to lead into sedition, as it says in 2 Ezra 15. All right. Verse 1, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. The spirit of Yahushai is the testimony. The testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy. Prophecy is to tell you before it happens. And we're doing this through the power of Yahweh's word, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, which he chooses his prophets, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And that's why in Revelation 1 it says, blessed is he that readeth this prophecy and keepeth it. All right? These scriptures is our covenant with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yahushai comes in the volume of the book. The book speaks of Yahushai. It is the word of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. It says, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. All right, because we have an enemy, and the enemy of Israel, which the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which have been scattered throughout the world. All right, and the Lord says his heritage is as a speckled bird, meaning that we look like all the other nations because we have had the women of the other nations and they bear our children. All right? So you have Israelite men that look like all the other nations. Israelite women that look like all the other nations, living as the heathen. But now that the Lord is soon to return, he sent out prophets to warn his people to return to righteousness, which is in him, and you will be saved. All right? But 2/3 in America will reject this truth because they're pretty much in love with the so-called white man, the red devil. His biblical name is Edom. All right? That's his nation. His color is red. That's what Edom means. He's not white. If you ever seen a so-called white man with a white shirt on, you see that they are red. All right? So the red man, the true red man, is Edom, the so-called white man. All right? He is the red devil the Bible speaks of. And they're going to come down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time.
It's going to keep weapons and ammunition. Basically, we're out of money. Basically, we're out of money. And so
what's going to happen when people are broke, when people can't buy, when people can't, fill their car with gas and go where they please? They're going to have tantrums, and it's going to become violent out here in the street of America, which most people have guns. All right, and I just saw in Canada, they're passing the laws to take all the guns away from the people, which is going to cause a gunfight. All right, you're going to have a humongous gunfight in North America. All right, this is a bloodbath. This is going to be a bloodbath in America. Literally, America is going to see the worst. All right. It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. The 2/3 that reject this truth are going to die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. The sword. The sword is the so-called white man. He is that sword that was formed against the Israelite because we sinned. Excuse me. Famine. What is Esau doing? He's causing shortages. See, the wicked, the so-called white man, rules the world. He sets up governors and mayors and presidents. And what do? They control resources. All right? And now when you have a shortage, people think of, whatever the so-called white man using his press tells them, and they believe it. But in fact, the so-called white man, the red devil, the one that is controlling the resources of the world, is pretty much going to bring the world into a famine, starvation. Whether through inflation, you can't afford it because of the devaluation of your dollar, or because there is just no food in your area because he stopped the ability to travel, such as diesel, okay? Because diesel is on a shortage, and now they're going to actually go into a train, these unions that control the trains, they're going to go on a strike in December. They said trains are going to stop before December 1st up to December 9th. But by 9th, because the deal that they thought they had didn't stand, and I found out why. They want to track them, right? They want to track the railroad workers. I saw a video of a wife of a railroad worker. All right, so this is a wife to a Union Pacific worker, okay? And she goes into the whole video. She tells you why they rejected the plan. You know, it didn't give them no sick days, didn't give them no, pretty much, they're slaves, all right? And their pay, it only went up to afford them last year's inflation. There's nothing in the future for them, okay? Because America is out of money. But listen to this part. She's telling you that pretty much they want to track their employees. That's why they rejected the contract.
Started assigning all of their labor employees something called a Zebra. It's a little handheld device that looks like a cell phone and kind of acts like one. It has a GPS tracking system on it. These things are to be on their person 100% of the time while they're on the clock, and they have to stay on and charged while at home. And Union Pacific has made it a fireable offense if they check this thing and it's off. Ever. That's a tracking device. And I know your question is, how can they do this without an agreement, without the unions being involved? This is how the rail carriers work. They sneak things in without the union agreement, and then the union has to fight it within the next 3 years.
And that's what's happening. All right? The devil is coming down with great wrath, knowing that he has but a short time. So now he's coming with that MOTB, the implantable microchip. All right? And he's going to use famine, all right, death and destruction to try to cause you to run into his trap, okay? Not kind of, to lead you into the trap, okay? Just like you would do a sheepdog. If you ever seen a sheepdog could do majority of the work. I seen this sheepdog once. He ran the sheep right up the hill, past all these different driveways, keeping them together. And then when it was their gate, the man, the owner, the shepherd, had a ability to, in this time, push a button and the gate opened electronically. And when it opened, the dog pretty much was rounding them up, was scaring them, nipping them in the butt, not to damage them, but to cause them to go in a direction so that he could get them into that gate, right? So that's what's happening right now. Esau is going to use famine, death, and destruction to lead you, chaos, to lead you into his trap, which is that MOTB, the implantable micro CHIP, which he's going to make mandatory for buying and selling. And the Lord gave him that device to do this, to mark them, whoever take it, for condemnation. And I'm dealing with the Israelite because salvation is only for the Israelites. All right? If you take that thing and you allow them to put it inside your body so you could continue to work or continue to buy or sell or whatever your reasons are, you're going to die with that, because it is prophesied that you will see a judgment of fire. All right? You're going to burn by America being destroyed. America, after this thing happens, America is going to be destroyed by nuclear fire, by those missiles that you hear Russia talking about, that North Korea is trying out. All of these places, Iran, all right, Iran, they have these missiles because the Lord's going to put it in their heart to destroy America, all right, including NATO, which is the allies to America. They're all going to shoot nuclear missiles upon this whore because her wickedness had corrupted the whole world. It says, "For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, the so-called white man, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. So this devil is, moving like a devil. And he believes he's going to slaughter majority of the Lord's people, which he's going to kill 2/3 in America. But the remnant, which is more valuable than the 2/3, which is a smaller amount, all right, which has more value, though, because they hold the oil, the word of Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, in faith, all right, the Lord is going to bring us out of here, all right? Once this devil touches the kingdom of heaven and starts killing brothers, all right, the Lord is going to protect us and fight for us, all right? But there's pretty much a number that the Lord has set, and once this devil hits that number, it's on, It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. The Lord said he led us in, as sheep before the wolves, amongst the wolves, all right? It says, I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, because they're going to start wanting to kill us, all right, because of our testimony, which we're prophesying of Yahushai. And see, these devils have no righteous imagination. They have a vain imagination. All right, so when we're speaking and things are happening, they're actually thinking it's us. All right, they thinking that we're doing it, and so they think if they kill us, it's going to stop. But it ain't. All right, because the Lord is coming. He's here. Literally, he's here above our heads and in our spirit. And that's why Esau's going to hate us. Because Yahushai is doing it. Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai is doing it. And he's using men. He's using the Israelite men. He's using the Edomite men. He's using the heathen to fulfill the will of his father. So the Lord is using Jake right now, the Israelite, as worms on a hook in this big-ass fish, America. And this Edomite, this red devil, all right, the serpent, he's locked on, man. And he got his, the Lord said his heart has been hardened, and he will not let us go, all right? So he's going to pretty much try to commit genocide against us once again. Verse 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues, as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. All right, which the Lord is that one of the first plagues that come upon this place, all right, is the prophet. The prophet is like the forerunner of all the plagues coming upon this place. And we've been here telling you that these things are coming because Yahushai is coming back. By the power of Yahweh, Yahushai is coming back. And what is he coming back to do? Judge the world. And his number one enemy, all right, is these 2/3, which are, destroyed by Esau, which they will be destroyed with Esau. And then Esau, the wicked, all right, because the wicked is the red devil that crucified him, all right, that have enslaved his people, that will not let his people go, that lied about who he is. They said he was a so-called white man. In fact, he's a so-called American Negro. What you would look like, if you close your eyes and you could see an American Negro in your eyes, that's what Yahushai the Messiah looked like, all right? So this devil, the so-called white man, has how to pay, all right? It says, but the Lord is going to destroy all the land thereof, all right? It says, and will destroy all the land thereof, because the plagues start with us prophets, all right? And then the plagues happen. You have the MOTB about to become mandatory. What happens to the people that take that? First, they're going to get cancer and boils and shit. They're going to become very, very sick, all right? And that shit is going to become mandatory. Everybody's going to get that shit, all right? Except for that remnant that are to be reserved, because even the ones that don't get it, the wicked, or them that do wickedly, they already got it in the head. You know what I'm saying? They if they could, they would. So the Lord, there's some people that may not even take it, but they're still going to be in that lake of fire, because either they're a heathen, which they have no salvation, and whether they're Israelite, hey, if it's already in them to love this system, they're no good to the nation. So they have to be purified by fire, death by pain. Then they'll know the truth. They'll come back as, a righteous seed. Verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword, the so-called white man, and their destruction draweth nigh. And that's why he's coming down with great wrath, because this devil, his destruction is drawing nigh. So he's a cunning serpent. He's going to try all kinds of ways of trying to get out of him going into slavery and then being made extinct, his whole entire race. It says, the one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men. Okay, Kala Yaba Shemir Shai. I already had it pulled up. So this woman, Lynette Zhang, she's been in pretty much the stock business since the early 70s, all right? And she pretty much saying that they're going to bring out that MOTB and make it mandatory, and then you're going to have nothing, all right? And she's saying, why are you okay with it? Why ain't you guys standing up and fighting? This is sedition. Their own people, because you can obviously see that she's a so-called white woman in a higher, in a wealthy class, all right, making lots of money in America, all right. She's pretty much calling for war for her fellow citizens to go to war with their government. This is sedition. And I'm hearing more and more of this by the so-called white race, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to have a civil war, a race war. All right, this place is going to become a bloodbath, and then eventually nuclear war, which is going to burn this place.
1913. Every single person has to determine if that's okay with them. Now, if this is this industry that could help shape how consumers and businesses view the credibility of token-based payments, we have got to get the people's buy-in. Why? Because this is a con game. It's a Ponzi scheme on top of the Ponzi scheme that has already been perpetuated on the public since 1913.
Which is talking about the Federal Reserve. All right, the Federal Reserve was pretty much came into existence in 1913 on Jekyll Island. Right, is where they came up with this idea, the so-called white man, the devil the Bible speaks of, which he came out with this fiat currency, which is bullshit. All right, it's not worth shit, and you're about to learn that, because this money is no good. There is no more money in Egypt. All right, and the Lord is going to bring plagues upon this place just as before.
Every single person has to determine if that's okay with them. Now, if this is the system and there's no change, which there has to, I hope Ray Dalio is right. I hope we're going to see a revolution, because.
Did you hear that? That's sedition. I hope to see that there is a revolution, because there is going to be a revolution. You're going to have a war against the people, against their government, as it is prophesied. It says in verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men. And who did she reference? A so-called white man that is also talking to his people about revolution and invading one another. And what's going to happen? Do you think January 6th was chaotic? Wait till they start shooting each other. All right? It says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. So that, if there's no money, there's no reason for me to even go to work. If my family's going to starve, what's the point of me just staying in line? You know what I'm saying? They're going to start invading not only their neighbor's house, they're going to go into these politicians' house, just like what's happened this year with Nancy Pelosi. And did you hear what he said? I believe it was set up by them so that they could bring more of their draconian law in front of the public with the public support. But did you hear what they used, or he said, in what they said he said? He said that he was going to break the knees of Nancy Pelosi to tell them to stop. Stop what? The oppression. The oppression is becoming so much on the society that they're breaking their own people. And their own people are going to snap because these people, the Edomites, they have no hope. Their hope is in the moment that they get that pleasure at that moment. They live for that moment like a dog. They have no understanding of morale or future or ethic, like work ethics, morale. Their value system is all fucked up because that's why they create this thing called YOLO. You only live once. They want you to live like a dog, living in the moment. All right, when we're an actual a holy people, and we know the future and the past as we live in the present. That's why the men of the Lord are gods. All right, while everybody else is running around like a beast, living for the moment, for the pleasure of the moment. All right, we're living in the future. We could, in fact, go to the past. As we're here in the present, we could actually read scripture and meditate on the past. Literally see it in our mind. Like we're walking around with Yahushua or with Abraham. Like we're a fly on the wall, able to see it all. All right? And this is why the devil's going to come down with great wrath, because he has no hope. He has no future. He has no vision, nothing. See, he thinks that he's going to rule forever. That's it. But that ain't it. And we're telling him that. And he sees it happening, the pains and the sorrows. And so he's going to come down with that great wrath. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. All right, which they're gonna, have martial law. That's what's gonna happen. Martial law. They're gonna lock down the cities. It says, for because of their pride, the so-called white man that rules it, all right, the elite bankers, the cities shall be troubled, because they gotta cause chaos to bring you into their new world order. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right, and that's why it's gonna be destroyed. You're going to have war, man. You see Syria? Syria was a functioning city. And look at it. It became rubble in the time of war. All right? And what happened? Women get raped. Everybody gets murdered. It says, the house shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Why is there a lack of bread? Because you can't buy bread no more. There ain't going to be no more bread, and if you want bread, you're going to have to agree to their system, which they have a microchip that is attached to their system, and they want to put it inside you so that you will become part of their system, their beast system, that you could have their image, right? That beast image. But if you take that, you're an enemy to Yahushua, to Yahweh. And when he comes back, if you have that in your body, he's going to fucking cook you. All right? It says without no mercy. All right? It says here how this is done. That they actually bring this system into play again. It's from the past, all right? Everything is done today is from the past. It says in Genesis 47, Verse 14. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt. And what's funny is, this is an Israelite, right? But you know how these devils, they use Israelite names like fucking Joe Biden, his name is Joseph. You know what I'm saying? But this is an Israelite. Joe Biden is an Edomite, okay? Joseph was a so-called black man, all right? His sons today are Ephraim and Manasseh, which is the Cubans, and Ephraim is the Puerto Ricans, and Manasseh are the Cubans, all right? So the Edomites are not the Israelites, all right? The Edomites is the so-called white race, and the Israelites are a dark-skinned race, the so-called American Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, which have been scattered throughout the world. All right? It says, and Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt, which spiritual Egypt today is America, and in the land of Canaan, for the corn which they bought, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. All right? And Pharaoh is the bankers today. All right? And they got they got these ruling people like Joe Biden, like the governors, the mayors, which put taxation on the people that also control the flow of resources. All right? And what they do is they control the prices of goods, and they'll drain your savings and bring that money back to their controllers, to the bankers. It says, and when money failed in the land of Egypt, which you just heard Biden, there's no more money. Oh, I don't have it up no more. But I played it before. There is no more money. They're out of money. Money faileth. That's why they're bringing a new system. And that's why we know we're at the end of our slavery, because at the end of this system is our release from this hell, all right? Lamentations 4. And this is why they hate us, because we're standing on our feet proclaiming this. Lamentations 4 verse 20. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of Yahweh, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. So we're protected. We have a hedge around us. We're able to receive this knowledge by the Holy Spirit because of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Even though we're among the heathen, even though they do all that they can to deceive us, to hide things, all right, even try to kill us, the Lord is with us. Like I said, he's right above us. He's in us. All right, and literally he's in us also. So that's why this light comes from within. It says, verse 21, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, because they think they're going to get their new system, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. Uz is America. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. So they had the Israelites in slavery. They slaughtered the Israelite, and they enslaved the Israelite in America. Throughout the whole world, they've done this. America rules the world. All right? That's why the English is a taught language in Asia, because America rules the world. All right? When you go to fly to become a pilot, the number one language you have to know is English. All right? It says, thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. So they think that they're pretty much a God. There is no God. Because if there was a God, why hasn't he interfered? Because they're able to do all these wicked deeds, right? Eat babies, drink blood, fuck their food up for the people, especially the Israelite people, right? Because we have like a law that the Lord, the supreme power, gave us, and we're supposed to keep this law. But living in this wicked society, we're everything we do is controlled. So if we go buy food, it's already destroyed. GMO, crossbred seeds. Say you want to start a farm from scratch. You go to these fucking places, and the genetics are all fucked up, right? So everything is fucked up. Everything is fucked up in this society because of the so-called white man. All right? It's an artificial society, man. That's why all these bitches are walking around with fake eyelashes, because you ain't got nothing but a bunch of fake-ass people walking around eating fake-ass food, all right, drinking fake-ass drinks. Even the bottled water, I just saw a brother do a video on that. Jake was working in, purifying water, and he revealed when you see floaters in your fucking water, that's toilet paper. That's toilet paper that is too small for them to catch. It's too fine, because Esau fucked up the water system. The water, the Lord created it where it evaporated, right, from the ocean into the heavens, and then it was taken to the, and brought down in rain. And it would go into the land, and it would run through the land collecting minerals and that's how it would be clean and also useful for your body. Today, this water is void of any nutrients because Esau fucked everything up. The so-called white man is the red devil, and he's the reason why all this shit is fucked up. Now, we went off, the Israelites, and that's why we went into slavery. But Esau's been ruling, and he fucked everything up. So now the Lord has to get us, and he's reestablishing us, right, teaching us his ways. And now he's going to put us a new body, a new heart, and a new spirit, which we're going to be now the rulers of this world. And we're going to put this world back on the back of the slaves of the heathen, right? The heathen are the slaves. And the heathen became the masters, and look what they did to the world. You got freaking plastics all over. They said there's plastic up even in the heavens because you got this devil dumping trash out there. It says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, because we're establishing righteousness. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. So we're establishing the throne. We are the biblical Hebrew Israelites, and our Father is Yahweh, and our Savior is Yahweh Shai, and our righteousness is in him. We reject the way of Esau and Edom. All right? So, now, that makes us righteous, establishing the throne that we're fit for rulership, and that forfeits Esau's seat, because Esau is committing wickedness, decreeing wicked things. So guess what? That makes him unfit to rule. That forfeits his throne. That forfeits his reign. So the Lord is coming to throw his ass out of that throne, take his head with the crown, and give that authority to his elect. All right? It says the anger of Yahweh. I'm sorry, I went up. It says in verse 22, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. So this is a new system, and it ain't going to come to last very long, It says, he will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Because now the prophets are raised up, and we're praying to the Lord to destroy Edom for their sins. All right? It says, verse 15 of Genesis 47, verse 15, and when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence, for the money faileth. And that's why they're going to go into the people, the people, the civilians. They're going to go to their politicians and ask, why, give us food. While the devil is going to say, hey, you need to have that MOTB inside your body to get that bread. All right? That's what he's doing. It's a game that he's playing. All right? It says, and Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses, and he fed them with bread which is cheap. for all their cattle. It says, for all their cattle for that year. So for 1 year, all their cattle, for their flocks, got exchanged for bread. Bread ain't shit. And that's what Esau's going to give you. He ain't going to give you shit for your soul. All right? He's going to say, take this device the size of a grain of rice and put it inside your body. All right? And you're going to believe him that you're going to live forever. You're going to be protected. You're going to be all these things. And guess what? You're going to die in a lake of fire. And starvation is going to come upon you. Because the famine is one of the plagues the Lord is going to put upon this place. Whether you have that chip or not. Only his elect are going to eat. It says, in fact, it says that them that survive the sword, you're going to suffer famine. Because a lot of people are going to be put to death because people are going to kill them for either their possessions or even to eat them. Cannibalism is a thing that's going to take off as a new way of life here in America. Because there ain't going to be no bread. It says, verse 18, when that year was ended, they came unto him the second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money is spent. So they ate all their bread. My Lord also hath our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord but our bodies. Till you have nothing. Alright? He's going to bring you to your knees till you have nothing. And then he's going to make it mandatory that you have that device that's the size of a grain of rice. And then he's going to say that it has to be put inside your body for buying and selling. Alright? A micro CHIP, which has the technology of a RFID. Alright? It says, wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land, buy us and our land for bread, so feed us just for food, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. So that's how they're going to come. That's how they're going to bring it. They're going to bring you to fucking starvation of all the resources. No gas, no groceries, no water, no heat. No companionship, because they're going to bring some kind of plague where they cause you to be separated even from your families. That's why they got these FEMA camps. Alright? So they're going to bring straight hell and terror upon the people to bring you into their order, their NWO, which they're going to make it mandatory that everybody have that device in their body. But soon after that, the Lord is going to destroy this place. Alright? It says, when they shall be eating, he shall pretty much put the judgment upon their head. Let me get Obadiah 15. It says, for the day, verse 15, Obadiah 15, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So let me get Revelation 13:10 just to make it clear. It says, he that leadeth into captivity, and it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Alright? And so we're waiting because our Lord is going to do this. He's going to put Esau and the rest of these nations in slavery under the Israelites. We're going to rule. All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Ha, Rakat Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders which rule Great Millstone well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. May you endure into the end. Shalom. Wa Abba Babong.